Hi, John Robertson, your volunteer librarian for Oscar, back to talk to you again today. I'm going to have a look at organizing eForms today. Now, I get a lot of questions about this just because you can start to build up the number of eForms that you've got and it can be overwhelming. So I want to look at one way that you can organize your eForms that just affects you and doesn't affect anybody else that uses your installation of Oscar. At another point, I'll make another video and we'll have a look at how you can modify things on your server, on your installation of Oscar that will affect everybody that uses your installation. So I'm in my eForm library, and because I'm the librarian and because I also make a lot of eForms, when I scroll down to the bottom here, you'll see that I have 681 eForms. And obviously, I'm not going to be able to keep all of those straight. Some of them are probably outdated, and I probably should get rid of some of them. Some of them are duplicates, but to use the ones that I use the most frequently, I can organize them so they're easy to find. I'm going to go now to the basic first page that we usually see, the scheduling page. And there I have Jessica Rabbit, the patient that I use for these demonstrations. I'm using a day when I'm not going to be in the office, and I've put her on my bookings. Now you'll see a long list of other things at the end of her name. The installation of Oscar, when you get it originally, comes with 4 little hints here after Rebecca. So that's the encounter pane. That's the where you go to type in your notes. Some people call that the toilet roll. B, of course, is for billing. M is the main page or the demographic page, the master record, and then RX, of course, is for prescriptions. And when we look at my other backup login, so if we log out of this, and then we log back in again, using my backup login, and let's just go back to that November the 6th day, you'll see that all I have in my backup is those 4. I don't have any of that other stuff afterwards. That is in preferences, and we can go into our preferences and we can start adding things on to the end of this so that we can quickly jump to the eForms that we use most commonly. So if I go into my preferences, you can see there's some encounter forms here, and then it's got a list of the eForms. And I can pick a particular eForm to add. It'll do it alphabetically for me. And when I add that eForm in, then I can go back and I can quickly access it on the appointment scheduling page for any patient that's on that day. So I'm just going to go down here and I'm going to add the hospital imaging requisition to my preferences, and I'm going to update that. And now you get this little 3 in the dash here is the beginning of the name for the hospital imaging requisition. So now anytime I want to do imaging on Jessica Rabbit, I can open up that imaging requisition and I can go ahead and I can order imaging on her. We can go back into preferences. We can pick another eForm that we use all the time. Let's use the Lower Mainland MRI eForm. I can find it. There we go, that one. See, I had a hard time finding it because I thought it started with LM, but it doesn't. LM's in the middle. So I'm going to add that in. And now the MRI form is there as well as the imaging form. And when I hover over them, those three little letters become much larger, and it explains to you what the whole form is. You can also, in preferences, change the number of letters that it shows. So right now, I've asked it to display um, 3 letters. I could ask it to display 5. That might be a little bit more helpful for me in terms of understanding what's on the page there. So now the MRI one, this one starts by saying hospital, but because we've got a few more letters there, it's easier to understand. In the next video that I do, we'll look at some other ways to find the eForms quickly, but those ways will affect everybody that uses your installation of Oscar. So as a group, you should probably sit down and decide whether you want to do something like this and have some plans or guidelines or protocols for how you organize things so that everybody's in agreement. Hope that was helpful for you. Talk to you again soon.